The most profitable product you'll launch this year has already been created, market tested, and customer approved. The only problem is you have no idea it exists and it's hidden in plain sight. This isn't a riddle, it's a reality that I've seen in almost every newly acquired business. The new owner's first instinct is to come into a business with a big red pen and desperately hunting for costs that can be cut. And, it's a smart thing to do. Yet, while you're hunting for pennies that you can like save with that big red pen, you're completely blind to the accidental gold mine already sitting in your business. It's a product your own employees created without even realizing it. Your most valuable, ready to ship new product is basically collecting dust in a forgotten folder or a beat up notebook or a rusty old locker. So, every new business owner I've ever worked with has a red pen. They acquire a new business, and their first instinct is to come in and open up the P&L statement and start looking for things to cut. That marketing budget, that supplier contract, that old vendor that that's always been used for years that maybe doesn't deliver all the way on time. Those extra staff hours, a lot of staff hours are always looked at to be cut. Their focus is 100% on stopping the bleeding to improve profitability. And that's not a bad instinct at all, but it's only half the equation. So I'm here to tell you that while you're so focused on what your business is spending, you often can't see the valuable asset that you already own. These assets tend to be invisible. They don't show up on the balance sheet, and they were created by your most valuable resource, your employees. Don't get me wrong, cutting costs is extremely important. But in this video, rather than focusing on cutting costs, I'm going to give you a treasure map. I'm going to show you how you can create revenue out of the invisible, how you can, like a magician, pull a cash rabbit out of nowhere and find the accidental gold mine hidden in your business right now, today. So, where is this hidden gold mine? It's hidden in what I call the hope diamond in the rough principle. It's in the workarounds, the cheat sheets, the unofficial processes, and just kind of making things easier for themselves kind of things that the employees have created out of necessity. Here's the deal. When your company's official process is inefficient or just simply doesn't work for the particular employee, they and it could be like an official product that is confusing for customers, or the directions of how something works doesn't like always lead itself to being user friendly and makes sense. So they come back in and they kind of like, or hey, the employees are seeing this. Either they come, customers come in and ask the employees, or the employees just kind of have experienced people having trouble with certain things. And so your best employees don't give up. They don't just go, oh well, it kind of doesn't work. That's kind of how it is. They actually innovate. They create their own tools to get the job done and to keep the customers happy. Your employers are the owners, the employees are the owners of these assets. You could see it in their checklists. You can see it in their workarounds. It could be just any kind of simple survival tool, but like an old reliable car. It can just be around and just be something that they're used to doing, and something that, even other team members just kind of expect. Either they see it happening or they involve it too, but it's just something that they kind of do. But to an outsider, to a customer, they see this as a solution that maybe they've even been desperate for. They see it as a priceless hope diamond in the rough. So the legendary management consultant Peter Drucker famously said, "The purpose of a business is to create a customer." And he also believed that innovation doesn't have to come from the top down. He taught that companies must actively look for innovation everywhere within the business, even in unexpected places and within their own operations. What your employees are doing is a form of unintentional innovation. They are responding to a customer need in the business that your business isn't formally already serving. Your job is to find that innovation during your listening tour. Your job is to find that innovation during your listening tour, my structured process for uncovering hidden problems and opportunities that goes beyond the surveys to hear what's really happening. And then find the person who sees it as a diamond. So let me show you how this works in practice. I'll talk to you about a case study. I've worked with a client who had just acquired a high-end auto body shop that specializes in restoring classic cars. The shop had a great reputation, but the jobs were consistently running over budget. The new owner was focused on getting his employees to work faster to try to close that gap. During my listening tour, I spoke with all the employees, including the head painter. He was a master artisan. I didn't ask him about his speed, I did ask him about his speed, but I really wanted to focus on finding what else we could talk about, what else he could tell me about, what else he can, with his wealth of knowledge and his experience and his long-term being at the company. I just wanted to find out everything I could. And so one of the things I asked him was, what's one secret step you personally take that nobody else does to make sure a paint job is absolutely flawless? He hesitated for a minute, but then he walked me over to his locker, and taped inside was this old, grimy, laminated, handwritten text checklist. Basically, it was a masterpiece. It's over 50 steps of hard-won knowledge. Step 32, apply the coat and check for low spots with a long-standing block, never a short one. Step 17, wipe down with isopropyl alcohol solution, 70-30 concentration. Step 32, apply guide coat and check for low spots with a long-standing block, never a short one. Step 48, wait full 60 minutes after a final clear coat before baking to prevent solvent pop. I don't know what most of that stuff means, but they're like the gold mine, right? There are all these steps, 50 steps that over 20 years he had learned that that allow him to not only get the job done, but to get it done perfectly. It wasn't just a checklist, right? It's 2 days of basically clinical trials that have been tested on one single sheet of paper. He had created it himself because the official shop manual was useless. He told me that new guys always mess up the prep, but if they just followed these steps, we'd only have to do half the rework that we do now. I went to the owner, I talked to him about this, and then we basically, the owner was stunned, right? And he'd been pushing for speed all this time when his most experienced employees was sitting on a system that could eliminate the very mistakes causing the delays, causing all the issues that he had been looking to try to fix by just pushing everybody harder. So that aha moment was crystal clear. This checklist wasn't just a personal tool. It was a scalable premium product with multiple avenues for monetization. So here's exactly how we unlocked its value. First, we honored the creator. The absolute first step was to sit down with the painter and the owner and have the owner acknowledge the painter's genius and formally offer him a revenue share in this new product. In fact, this idea allowed us to launch a whole innovators program. Instead of just one-off deal, the owner announced a new company-wide incentive that any employee who develops a process, a tool, or a guide or any kind of thing that can be turned into a sellable product will receive an immediate $1,000 bonus. It was a critical step that turned every employee from a guarded gatekeeper of knowledge into a potential innovator and an enthusiastic partner in a new venture. So, second, we digitized and expanded the asset. We worked with the painter to turn his notes into a clean, modern, multi-page digital guide, complete with photos and short videos of him demonstrating the key and most important steps. Third, we branded it as a system. We called it the Show Car Finish System, a professional's guide to flawless prep and paint. The Show Car Finish System, a professional guide to flawless prep and paint. Rolls right off the tongue, right? Anyway, it was targeted to a global community of DIY restoration enthusiasts who wanted professional grade secrets. This branding elevated it from a simple checklist to a comprehensive, repeatable system which commands a high price. Finally, we created two different revenue streams with this. So the digital product, which was far too valuable to be a freebie, they began selling it online to the global community of car restoration enthusiasts for $79. And then, even more importantly, they started offering a premium service tier to their current roster of customers. For an additional fee, for an extra fee, their car's entire process would be documented, showing the Show Car Finish System, complete with photo documentation of every stage, guaranteeing the perfect result. Now, this premium service upsell guaranteed customers that their car would be receiving the full Show Car Finish System for an additional $2,500. Within 3 months, the digital product was generating steady passive income, but the Show Car package had been chosen by over half their current and new clients, adding tens of thousands of dollars into the high margin revenue directly to their bottom line. It created a digital product revenue stream out of thin air. Like that magician just pulling a cash rabbit out of the hat, it created a high ticket upsell for their core service, from all of this from just one employee's passion for perfection. So this brings me back to what I call the hope diamond in the rough principle. It's something I see in businesses over and over again. And since we're talking about cars today, it's even something I see in my own life. I own a little 30-year-old car. And to me, it's just a reliable, get it done, inexpensive daily driver. But it is an old car, and it comes from like a classic line, where almost every week I get a young enthusiast stopping me. Sometimes even like I'm driving on the highway and they're flagging me down. They're like, your car. And they're looking at it as a priceless artifact. To me, it's an old car with dents and, just old manual systems. I have to like manually roll the windows up and down. And it's like, I love it, but it's definitely not what's out there with new cars today. But to these enthusiasts, it's the hope diamond in the rough. They are out there like kind of archaeologists, and then they kind of just come across my car and they're like, oh my God, there it is. There's the hope diamond. So basically, the value of an asset is determined by the perspective of the observer, right? It's a diamond to me just because it's something that I personally get use out of. But I don't see it in the same way these other guys do. They're looking at it like with stars in their eyes and, gleaming. And, if I didn't need that car for my own personal use, I could probably make a lot of money off of it. And the same thing with you as the business owner. You might be looking at your employees' weird little workarounds and the little checklists they make themselves and their strange little spreadsheets and their handwritten notes. You might be seeing them as old, quirky, and even inefficient. But look closely. If you're looking at them from the inside, you might see that. But as an outsider, a customer, in this case, in this business, a hobbyist or an enthusiast, they look at the same asset and they see priceless secret. They see a shortcut they've been searching for a while. They see a solution. And so should you, because it can be a really profit building solution. Your job isn't to judge the asset from your own perspective. Your job is to find someone else who sees it as a diamond and sell it to them. Your employee's old car of a checklist, the Hope Diamond in the rough, is your employee's old car of a checklist is a Hope Diamond to a global audience. So your job again isn't to judge the asset from your own perspective, but to find those people who are looking for that diamond and who see it as that diamond and to sell it to them. So, as Peter Drucker said, the purpose of a business is to create a customer, and sometimes the most profitable customer you can create is the one who will pay for a solution your own employees have already built and long been testing. The key is asking the right questions to uncover these hidden assets, and that's why I've created my free PDF, the Legacy Loop Diagnostic Kit. This is a tool that I designed to help you analyze the legacy loop of the unwritten habits from your company's past. The questions inside it will help you execute on Drucker's principle to find those unexpected innovations your employees have already built. You can download it using the first link in the description below. So now with the diagnostic kit, you can stop cutting costs and start discovering the big profits from products you already own. Click the link, get your diagnostic kit, and go find your gold mine. Thanks for watching.